Ladies and gentlemen, the stream will start in approximately 4 minutes. So just sit tight. Be starting soon.
Did you put is that your phone up there? Oh, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the live stream webinar. The topic of our webinar today is a question and a solution. The question is, Stagnant podcast? So if you're joining us today, and the answer to that, to finish that up, is spice it up with multi-camera live streaming. So the question today, for those of you who answered it, and probably those who are watching our live webinar today, the problem that you're facing is that your podcast is stagnant. Your live stream show is stagnant. Now, I don't know what kind of content you're creating. There is a variety of things you could be doing with live streaming on the internet. And I don't know what your specific need is. And if you'd like to comment on our YouTube live stream so that I, Liam Fabre, the content guru, can be more specific with your problems, then you're free to do that. I'll answer anybody who asks us questions. We'll be happy to do that. And we have producers standing by monitoring the comments section. So feel free to leave a comment, to ask a question, if you'd like me to be more specific about the type of content you're creating. But what we all seem to have in common here today, the reason why you're joining us today, is because whatever content you're making, it is stagnant. You had this great idea at one point in your life that you were going to start making content, and that was a good idea. And you had all kinds of ideas of what you were going to say and what you were going to do, and now you've been doing it for a couple of months or a couple of years, and now you don't know what to do anymore. You're staring at this microphone in front of you, you're staring at your screen, and you're saying, is this what I'm going to do for the rest of my content career? Make content that seems to sort of be stalling? And don't worry, because this is something that every content creator goes through. Every content creator sort of faces a wall where they're like, what am I going to do with this? And this is with any business. Any business at some point is going to say to themselves, is this it? Is this all we're going to do here? And the answer is always going to be innovation. You need to innovate. You constantly need to be changing. If you have a cooking show and every day you sit in front of your camera and you film what you're cooking, somebody's going to pass you by. So you need to be innovating. And to innovate, you need to use the latest and greatest technology in the game. You always need to be a step ahead. Because guess what? If you're still shooting 720 and some guy's shooting 4K, people are going to go watch the 4K videos. They're going to be so much more clear. If you're still filming, with bad audio and somebody else has crystal clear audio, as do I today in my stream webinar, then people are going to go where the good quality is. If somebody has the technology to spice up the content to make it more interesting, people are going to go watch that content. Oh my gosh, what's going on outside? What's going on? Could you guys see that outside camera? What's going on out there? What is going on outside right now? Now, the answer is nothing is going on outside, but it doesn't matter. I was able to switch to it in a matter of seconds and show you guys and capture your attention. And these are the type of things you need to be doing for your content. So here we go. We're going to be talking about innovation today and using the latest and greatest technology in the game. Now, what is the latest and greatest technology in the podcasting, content creation, live streaming game? Well, the answer to that is live to social. That is the answer, live to social. And watch this. I am going to switch back over to myself, and I'm going to make it more interesting by adding in another angle of myself as well as an outside angle. What other technology can you do that with? The answer is none. So I'm doing all of this from a tablet, and ladies and gentlemen, the topic of our webinar today is going to be, stagnant podcast? Yes. Solution, live to social, right? Live to social is one of the great tools that you can use to spice up your content. Look at that. I just threw in a banner that says live streaming. So live to social allows you to use multiple cameras at the same time. And the benefit of having multiple cameras is that it's more interesting. Think about it even when you watch TV, watching the news, CNN or Fox, whatever you're watching. When they're talking about a story, it's not just the anchor's face for the whole story. Imagine what that would look like. Let's get rid of the live to social features right now and just do me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is my show. You're going to stare at me talking for 30 minutes. I hope that you fall asleep during the show, right? That's what that would be. But if I'm able to add in multiple cameras like this, maybe multiple angles, now you can see my studio. Now you can see what's going on here. Now I can show off all of the features that I have. If I'm going to be talking about, well, let's take a look before we go to the next subject. Let's take a look at the weather. outside, and weather outside is looking like it's clear skies. Look at that. It's a beautiful day here in Miami. Now, we've been having some rain over the weekend, and that's been flooding some parts of Miami, and so we're going to be talking about that with one resident. In fact, let me send him a code, and we're going to go live to this person who lives in Kendall. Mark, are you there? Is Mark there? Mark in Kendall?
Mark is here.
Okay, hi, Mark. Welcome to the show. So can you tell us about the rain over the weekend?
Oh, it was disastrous. It was so bad it was coming through my window.
Oh, no. Coming through. Was it flooding your apartment?
Yeah, completely flooded. Total loss. I'm in a hotel right now.
Wow. And what hotel are you staying at?
At the Marriott Inn.
Wow. And is it one of the Marriotts that has a kitchen?
No.
Oh, boy. Well, there you go. We have Mark, who is just living in squalor. He might as well be homeless, living in a room with no kitchen. And there you go, folks, right? So we're bringing in people, we're bringing in guests. We can invite guests. We can do that on the fly. We can put them on camera. We have this outdoor cam that's going at the same time, which is retaining your attention as well. And think about this in terms of the latest technology that's out today. TikTok, for example. If people want to capture your attention on TikTok, often what they'll do is they'll be talking, and while they're talking, they have a video playing, and it doesn't even matter what that video is. Sometimes it's a live stream from GTA, Grand Theft Auto. Sometimes it's a car driving down the street. Whatever it is, we like to see movement. We like to see action. And so if you want to keep people's attention while you're talking, you need to show them something. So if it's just going to be your face, you're going to put them to sleep. Now, the benefit of live to social is that you're able to put multiple cameras up on screen. And that's why the topic of today's webinar is Stagnant Podcast, spice it up with multiple cameras. Well, that's what you need. You're going to need multiple cameras to spice it up. Right? Let's try one of these cool features here. Let's do this one, and let's make this the A, and let's make this the B. Look at that. Look at that. That shows me in the studio. You have my face talking, and then you have my whole setup around me. Now, I'm very fortunate. I have a nice setup here, and I can show it off. And if you don't have a nice setup, what are you going to show off? Well, you could get a better setup. It doesn't cost that much money to spice up your content setup and then show it off and show that you know what you're talking about because of the equipment that you have around you. Now, you're going to be saving a lot of money by getting live to social because I'm using a tablet right now. What you're seeing on your screen is what I am seeing on my tablet, right? This right here that you have on the screen, this is what you're watching on the YouTube Live. This is what I have on my tablet right here. See how I'm talking to a tablet? Most people have a tablet, and if you don't, it's not the most expensive investment, at least nothing compared to what a camera would cost you, or a mixer, or a soundboard, or a whatchamacallit, or a who's a hasy, or a what you wanta, right? Those things are going to be a lot more expensive. So the benefit with the tablet is that you can connect a phone to it. This camera that I have shooting outside, we're going to go solo to that camera. This camera that you have shooting outside, that is a phone. That is Mark's phone that he put out there. And what does it look like? It looks like a satellite camera that we would have up on a roof. Now, Mark, didn't you used to work in a company that did satellite imaging or remote, or was that a friend of yours or something with satellite imaging, right?
Well, I used to work for a company that did, remote shooting.
Yeah, so Mark knows about this.
And satellite in a van and all that.
Yeah, exactly. And think of how much that setup cost, right? How much did the van cost? $50,000, and that's empty. Then you had to put a bunch of equipment in it.
Not to mention a giant satellite dish on top.
Giant satellite dish on top, and then it's got to connect with somebody, which usually requires some kind of subscription, and I'm sure the cameras you were using. I mean, what if you would have got to work one day? Let's run through this scenario. You would get to work one day, and you would go to get the van, and you would pull out the keys to unlock the doors to the van, and when you hit the unlock button, your phone rang. And you said, what's going on? Why is the key connected to my phone? And the guy next to you said, no, Mark, there's no more van. Now it's a phone where you're now using live to social.
And my jaw would drop. I'd be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. You would say, how could a phone replace a van? Well, look, it is right now. Now, this phone could be anywhere in the world, and it could connect to live to social. That stream could push into my tablet. Now, do you need a van with a satellite on the roof to have that stream come connect into the tablet? No. No, you don't. You just need 3G, which everybody has. Or 5G, which is even better. So this is what I'm talking about when I say the latest and greatest technology in the game. You need to be using the latest and greatest technology because the people around you don't know about the latest technology, and they say to themselves, we can't do a remote shoot. We don't have a van. Little do they know, Live to Social removes the need for a van. So you need to be one step ahead of them. You need to be using the greatest technology in the game. If you're scrolling through YouTube and you're seeing podcasts and you see one where it's a guy's face and you can tell he's done his whole show on Zoom, and then you have your show where you have multiple cameras, let's say 3 at once, and you look and you see the screen and you see, wow, a guy's face, you see a guy's studio, you see an outside satellite camera, and you say, wow, this looks really cool. This guy, it seems like he's got a really crazy setup. Who is this guy? Liam Fabre? Who is he? Wow, he must really have a big show. Who does he work for? Fox News? CNN? Who is funding this whole operation? And you immediately think that I'm a credible source, which I am. And so you're surprised by how amazing I am, and so you give me a chance. And so then you start listening to me. And then I am so amazing in the way I talk and the what I do that I now then have your attention, and now you're listening to my show. But you would have never given me a chance had I not been using this technology. And little do you know, I'm using my phone and my tablet. So I fooled you. You thought I was using a satellite camera. You thought I was using a news truck. Well, little did you know, I was using Live to Social the whole time. Gotcha. Gotcha. So this is how it's done. This is how you lower the cost of production. This is how you spice up your stagnant podcast. No, your show is just you talking on Zoom. No wonder it's stagnant. You think you're putting your guests to sleep? Heck, I'm surprised you're not falling asleep during your show. You need to be doing multiple cameras. That is what they are doing in the big leagues, and that is what you need to be doing. Now, there's this big push right now, and Mark, maybe you can tell us a little bit about it, where people are turning away from traditional news and media sources, and they're leaning towards user-generated content. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh, yeah. It just simply comes down to it's more accessible. You don't have to have a cable subscription and like that. Just go on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch. User-created content. These are normal people telling you what they think.
Normal people.
And sometimes people just want to hear what a normal person thinks.
That's true. That's true. They want to hear what a normal person thinks. They think that that's more honest. People think when they're looking at a news site that there's a certain bias in it. They don't trust the source. But when they're talking and listening to a normal, regular person, then they trust the source a little bit more because they trust that person. Now, they're willing to accept a lesser quality production. They don't expect you to have a big camera studio with lights and cameras on jib arms moving around, and they don't expect you to have that if you're an independent content creator. They don't. But imagine if you were and you did have it. Then you would have the best of both worlds. You would have the best cameras in the game. You would have the best audio in the game. You'd have the best multi-camera setup in the game. And you would be Joe the plumber, the regular guy that everybody wants to hear from. Now, the problem is Joe the plumber, the regular guy who has his own podcast, can't afford all that stuff. Well, can he afford Live to Social? The answer to that is yes. So here is my suggestion to you. Create user-generated content as you already are. You're doing well. You've been doing your show. We're proud of you here at Stream. We want you to keep doing it, but we want you to make the production look better. We want it to be more interesting, and we want you to pass everybody else by having the best equipment in the game. That's what we want for you, and we want to give it to you at an affordable price, which is $11 a week.
What are some small things you can do besides using Live to Social to really bump up your game from a stagnant podcast?
That's a good question, Mark. Did we just get that question coming in?
No.
Great, thank you. Okay, so here we go. So we just got a question come in. Now, we want to, let's say, add text. So let's do it with me. So we're going to add some text. So hashtag stay at home. Well, that's old news, right? The pandemic is sort of over. Let's do hashtag, what are some people talking about right now? Let's just say hashtag Amber Heard. Amber Heard, who was spotted at TJ Maxx in the Hamptons, right? So let's do hashtag Amber Heard, and we want the text color to be like that. So now we're just going to click on that. Whoop, and there it is. Now look, we don't really like that because it's white. Okay, so let's make it something else. Let's make it text. How about hashtag stay at home? How about hashtag stay at home? Right, because we're still in the middle of a pandemic. So let's delete that one. And there we go. Hashtag stay at home. And let's get rid of Amber Heard. Oh, we have to unselect it first. So there you go. So now we have hashtag stay at home in the corner. So that's the message that I'm trying to push during my show. Or let's say as an independent content creator, one of the ways that I support myself is with merch. So I'm going to say, check out the new merch. Check out the new merch. Whoops. And I'm going to give it some black. Check out the new merch. And I'm going to click on that. And I'm going to bring it in. And there you go. So now I can have that message going during my show so that people can see that. And then they go and they buy my merch. And that's how I support myself. Okay, so let's add something else. Predefined images. These are some images that come with the app. You can always add in your own, right? So let's see which one that we like here. I like live show. How about that? Could we bring that one in? There it is right there. Boom. Set it as the background. Boom. Live show. So that's pretty cool. And again, these are all things that I'm doing on the fly while we're live. Videos, I could add in videos. I could add in different combinations. Let's add in a lower third. So let's go here. Let's add this lower third. Now text number 1 and 2. So exactly, very user-friendly, right? I could almost be figuring this out as I went. So I could say something like my name. How about that for a lower third? Liam Fabre. Now again, I'm conducting the webinar right now, and I'm also doing this at the same time. So it's very user-friendly. It's very easy to do, and you can do it on the fly, which is very, very nice. It doesn't all have to be done before the show, right? Let's say somebody was asking me a question right now. I could go in and I could maybe type that question out, or I could, add in a different lower third, or I could put in their name. So there we go. I've saved that lower third that I just put in, and now I can add it in by just simply touching the screen. Just simply touching the screen, I can add it in. So let's pretend that that's what we're doing. And let's get rid of some of the other stuff here because we seem to have a lot of stuff in our menu. So let's get rid of a few things, and we'll clear up some space. So to delete, we just hit those 3 little dots. As long as you don't have it selected, you can get rid of it. So let's get rid of these. Look at that. We're clearing up some space. We're doing a little bit of housekeeping. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. I am Liam Fabre, the content guru, the content expert. Look at that. I just tapped that. You didn't even notice me tapping it. And the lower third came in as if I had a producer working behind the scenes doing this for me, cueing the graphics, taking the graphics. Right, I'm doing this all for myself. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the show. Today we're looking out at Miami's skyline. We have some partly cloudy sky, but a very beautiful day. Temperature is going to reach up into the 90s. And today we're going to be talking about the elections. And boom, the lower third just went. How did that happen? All I did was tap it. Now, maybe you can see me on this other camera over there. You can see me doing it. But then again, people aren't going to notice that you're sort of tapping and doing things like that. And it makes it look like you're part of the show. You're making things happen. So this eliminates the need for a producer because you can do everything yourself on the fly. So ladies and gentlemen, today I am Liam Fabre, and we're going to be talking about a few different subjects. But first, I want to thank our sponsors for joining us today, Stream Studio. They're doing a great job. And Live to Social, right? The graphic comes in and out. And it's very easy to do as you're going. So what else can we do? Well, we can throw in some effects. Has anybody ever heard of Giphy or GIF or GIF or any of these other things? Right? If we want to throw some of these in. Maybe I do a morning show. So let's select that one and let's save it, right? So ladies and gentlemen, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. Look at that. I just threw in that good morning thing there. Right? Those are fun. Let's add in some more. What do you guys say? Okay, great. So, what else do I want to add in? So, let's say I want to talk about the marathon that happened over the weekend, right? There was a marathon. So, let's throw in this GIF here. Save that. So, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome to the show. I am Liam Fabre. Thank you so much for joining us. It is a beautiful morning today. We got rid of that graphic. And now we're going to be talking about the marathon that occurred. We got rid of my lower third. We're going to be talking about the marathon that happened over the weekend. Obviously, we had lots of people running in that marathon. It was a big success. And so get rid of that lower third. Right. So this is what you're doing. You're constantly throwing things on screen and you're constantly catching people's attention. Now, there's a phenomenon called TikTok brain. Now, Mark, can you explain to the audience what TikTok brain is, please?
So TikTok brain is a phenomenon in which people's attention spans have become so diminished because of the way TikTok presents information to you. It's very much you keep swiping up and down, up and down, up and down, and now nothing really captures attention anymore. Only the cream of the crop really gets your attention.
Only the cream of the crop, or maybe anything that looks the most interesting, right? The first thing that lights up our brain, right? You have a bunch of people scrolling through TikTok who are a bunch of couch potatoes, and you really need to catch their attention. So having all of these things popping up on screen is going to help you capture their attention. And Live to Social allows you to do all of these on the fly. While Mark was answering that question about TikTok brain, I brought this in. Look at that. Happy Thursday, everybody. And that is an excerpt from Love Actually, the scene where he realizes that he's in love, and he does a little dance, and then he gets caught. But, I was able to bring that in while Mark was answering the question. I was able to do it on the fly. I didn't have to before the show, which is called pre-production. I didn't have to go in and load in all these graphics and try to think of whatever I was going to be talking about and what I would need to upload onto the screen. I'm able to do this on the fly, right? So that's a great advantage with Live to Social, that you can do this sort of on the fly. And I really like the layout of Live to Social. That's one of my favorite aspects of it, because what it is this plus button in the bottom right corner here that opens up this menu. This is sort of where your command central is. This is where you're going to go in, you're going to create those graphics that say Liam Fabre, you're going to create those combinations that you like to show yourself in the best way possible, depending on how many cameras you have in your production. You're going to bring in the sound effects, you're going to bring in those Giphies. This is where you're going to create all of that magic. Now, again, you can do this before the show, you can do it after your show, you can do it during your show. And as soon as you create those things, they're going to appear in this menu here. Now, this is what I like to call the quick touch menu, because once they're loaded in here, you can just tap them and boom, they appear on screen. You don't have to go find them in some menu and click on them and highlight them and drag them in and upload them and paste them, and you just tap. Now, Mark, as somebody who is a video editor, how great does it sound that you can do something just tapping it live during the show?
Oh, it's a godsend. Imagine the editing it would take to do this after the fact. If you want to redo the YouTube upload, no, you just do it on the fly.
Exactly. You can do these things on the fly, and that is the greatest advantage of it. Being able to do it on the fly eliminates the need for post-production, which is editing, basically. Editing is one of the longest processes. For example, our show today is a 30-minute live webinar. Mark, how long would it take you to edit a 30-minute webinar? Okay, let me tell you what I want for it first, right? I want lower thirds, I want transitions, I want images, I want multiple cameras on screen at the same time, right? So for this, we would need 3 cameras, and then I would need you to put all of those on a screen at once. And I also want the backgrounds to change periodically through the production, like I just did right there. I want you to put some breaking news graphics up. I want you to change the combination. I don't want it to be one combination the whole time. I want it to change up, just like I'm going to do right now. I want it to sometimes look like this. And I want you to do all of that for me. How long is that going to take you, Mark?
That's going to take me like a full day.
A full day? Like 8 hours?
Yeah, like a full work day.
Wow.
Just to make that right.
And how much do you think your daily hourly rate it would be approximately? Not even you, just an editor in general.
Oh, if you hired an editor?
Yeah.
Well, depends. If you be cheap out, they'll be like, oh yeah, $25 a video, and then you'll get something really bad. And if you want someone really good,
I want somebody really good, just
they're
like
probably
you.
gonna be like 25 an hour.
25 an hour. $25 an hour. Well, $25 an hour times 8 hours, that's $200. Now, live to social is $11 a week, right? So you're talking about 5% of what it would cost you to have an editor do this whole thing. And you're doing it all yourself. That's the other thing that's nice, is that you have the creative control. I'm a very creative person. I have a vision of what I want my productions to look like. And what I love about live to social is that I can make those visions happen live on the fly while I'm doing it. Right? While I'm doing my production, I can make my changes, I can do it, I can add in sound effects, I can add in lower thirds, I can add in the live streaming banner, right? I don't have to give it to some editor who's going to give me a product that I'm not really going to like, and I'm going to have a lot of, picks and, hey, can you change this? Can you do that? Right? So this gives you full creative control, which is also great. Let's run through a few more features in live to social before we get going for the day. So other than being able to invite a guest anywhere in the world at any time and having full control over their camera, you can also take some live comments, right? Live comments, when you go live, you can go live to multiple social media platforms at the same time by selecting your destinations in the destination tab. Just press add and choose wherever you want to go. Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch, custom RTMP, or simply save it locally and then upload it later. Or do all of those at the same time. How many other platforms do you know that you can do that on? Now, while you're live in some of these platforms, Facebook, YouTube, whatever, people are going to be commenting, wow, great job, Liam. Best webinar I've ever seen in my life. People are going to be saying stuff like that. So those live comments, you have the ability to have them come into live to social, so you never have to take your eyes off of the screen. Now, I hope you noticed I've never taken my eyes off of this iPad the whole time because I have everything I need here. This is my main command central station. And again, I don't need a big truck. I don't need, big soundboard and a big this and a big that and a big screen and a big bop. No, all I need is my iPad, and I have it, and it has everything I need. So let's keep going in our thing. So these are our local recordings. These are previous files that we've done in the past. These are just a couple of them. I've made thousands, but we only have 2 saved right now. I think we got rid of some. So these are our local recordings. Then we have notes. If you want to create a note, right? If there's something that you want to talk about in the show and you don't want to forget, you want to create an outline for yourself, and you don't want to write it on your phone and sort of be looking off to the side the whole time or looking on your computer the whole time, right? You can just put everything in Live to Social. Live to Social is your one-stop shop. Live to Social is the Walmart that's going to put the little town out of business, right? The little editing store and the little camera store and the little production store and the little post-production store, they're all going out of business with the Live to Social Walmart that's coming in. Right? Because everything can be done here. You only need to pull into one store to get to all your shopping, and that's the Live to Social store. And guess what? It costs a fraction of the price of all those other places. And is it sad that they're all going to go out of business? Yeah, it is. But guess what? This is the future, and you need to embrace the future. You can't be afraid of it. You can't run from it. So, and then right at the bottom, we have all of our video quality settings. We can adjust our bitrate. We can adjust our resolution. Mark, can you just speak a little bit about how amazing it is to have a software like this that does all of this? Did you ever think you would see something like this in your lifetime?
Not something so simple that's easily in the palm of your pocket, on the palm of your hand in your pocket. Like a cell phone could do this. You could do this on a cell phone.
Right. And it's so user-friendly. It's sort of contradictory. You would think that something that could do so many things would be really complicated. You would think that it would be like, well, it can do everything that all this other stuff can do all in one, but, it takes a couple months to get used to it. No, it's so simple to use.
You can just do it. Anyone can be a pro now.
You just tap, solo, tap, me, tap, combination, select A, B, boom, we're both on screen. So simple, so simple. You want to go live? Prepare to go live? There's a big green button right there. You just click that button. Could not be more simple. Destination. Right now, local video file is checked off. Well, I'd like to go other places. Press the add button. I'd like to go to Facebook. Click on Facebook. Right? It is very, very user-friendly. So if you want something low cost, if you want something affordable, if you want something user-friendly, if you're tired of your stagnant podcast and you want to spice it up, then Live to Social is the solution for you. Ladies and gentlemen, we will end with a live shot outside that we are filming again with a phone. You can make amazing productions with Live to Social. Download it right now on the App Store, Google Play. It is going to bring you the content of the future, and it is going to make you so much better than the other competition out there. So stop waiting. Take the chance. It's easy to use. You have more reasons to do it than not. So check it out. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back in 2 weeks for another live webinar. Thank you, everybody.